Sanibonani. Ninja. I'd like to start off by acknowledging Warrick's mother, Mama Sibonge kakhulu, for gifting us with your son and what he meant to so many of us. I think just in the last few days, if you and the family were not sure, you know how much of an impact he's made in so many of our lives, in so many different ways. To Warrick's 3 boys, I think Marvin said this earlier, your father absolutely adored you. All of us knew it. He was unashamed. In a country where we speak about having present fathers and fathers who are doing their best, your dad loved you a lot, and you guys must never ever forget that. I'd like to also thank the rest of the family, all the friends, all the colleagues, and everyone who's supporting or has supported Warras in various ways. I remember when we started podcasting, telling Warras that he needs to stop vaping. My brother vapes as well. I was like, bro, we need to be fresh for our grandkids. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna. And it's so sad today that we lose him so early, and it had nothing to do with any lifestyle issues. Warras became famous as a music DJ, a radio and TV personality, but today we say goodbye to him as an activist, a political and social activist, and as an astute businessman. I saw a clip on TikTok where an old video of Mokgotsi asking him, what will you be remembered for? And in his typical comedic way, he started off by saying, look, at my funeral, there'll probably be a lot of girls asking each other, who the F is this lady? Women loved Warras. Mama, maybe you know. We loved Warras. And to everyone who's lost a man, I'm sorry. Mokgotsi would refine his question, and Warras would reference a teacher from, I'm guessing, Freight High, where he matriculated in northern KZN. There was a teacher that said, look, I think you are a divergent thinker. He says he used to get into a lot of trouble, not for being naughty, but for being smart, too smart. Warras was incredibly, incredibly intelligent. Perceptive, curious, incredibly curious, used to research a lot. Wise and quite articulate. I think a lot of people who maybe did not know his past fame and got to know him now were fascinated at how articulate he was about some of the issues we had in this country. He was also a very proud Zulu man who loved umaskandi. And at times when we said, he'd emphasize, he'd say, hey, my man, I'm not a colored. Zulu. He used to love referencing his hometown, Kwapanya. I think it's Begu Zulu in Freight in northern KZN. As Sizwe mentioned, he was a passionate patriot. He would be seen with people that you may not like. Polarizing characters that you're like, I'd never be with that guy. But he would be with that guy on both sides or on all sides because he passionately cared about this country. Arguably controversially so. He spoke out very bravely and openly about corruption, maladministration, incompetence, and he even mentioned a lot of the solutions we needed to fix this country. And I think many of the clips circulating this week have been around some of those themes. He referenced El Salvador and Bope, who had successfully cleaned out gang violence in El Salvador. And if you look at what's happened in the Cape Flats, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi mentioning a drug cartel, some of the political killings and other crimes in this country, including him now being a victim of these issues, you can't help but think about some of the solutions we need in this country where we're losing too many people, too many good people. Warras was a superhero, a real-life superhero. Caesar spoke about people that actually roll up their sleeves and don't just point fingers. Warras decided to put his hand up and try to fix things. Could have stayed in entertainment. Could have carried on DJing and just been the coolest guy that he was. But he decided that he wanted to be, and he needed to be part of the change. He was definitely a braver man than most of us, including myself. And he was a real-life action man. As I close off, I would like to state that it's very difficult for myself to meet someone who the very first time feels so familiar, as if you grew up with them. Warrick's special talent was that he made everyone feel like that. Everyone who met him felt like they'd known him forever. This was the guy in school who had a big mouth. This was the guy at work who was always charismatic. And as Marvin said, even when he'd rock up late, it'd make everyone feel good and you'd forget all about it. He used to love video calling, hey mngani wami, and then go on with his stories. I want to emphasize this again. Warras adored his boys, loved his mother, spoke about them all the time, and many of us were touched by his deep love for them. A constant reminder that we also need to cherish the people in our lives. If for nothing else, I hope we all remember him as a loving father, a deep patriot, a hyper-talented media personality, an activist, and one hell of a lekker-o. Warras mngani wami, ulale ngoxolo. We still had so much work to do, so many podcast episodes to film, so many leaders to hold accountable, and so much money to make. We'll miss you, mfowethu. I hope there will be justice for your brutal exit from this world. As I close, I'd like to say rest in peace to Kiernan A.K. Forbes. Rest in peace to Opa John DJ Somebody Sifoka. Rest in peace to Dibelo Tibbs Mutswane. Rest in peace to Marius Flam van der Merwe. Rest in peace to Babita Diokaren. Rest in peace to every South African who was and is trying to be a positive force in a society riddled with corrupt and evil people. And last but not least, rest in peace to Warrick, Robert, DJ Warras, the shady lurker stock. We'll miss you. Yabo.